students, it's Mrs. Sheen. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about some things I noticed in your journal assignment last week in week 7. Those of you that are done, I've already graded it, and you'll see my comments and my grades. But there were a few things that I wanted to show you about the speed reading journal that are going to help you in future weeks. So I'm going to open up that journal and have a look at it. So, as I say many, many times, remember that it's really important to read directions because sometimes as a student, you have a lot of responsibility, and it's easy to just kind of like hop around and be like, okay, I need to fill out information here and I need to put something here and I need to send it in. And I understand that pressure very well, but if you skip reading all the words, all the instructions, it can cause things to be confusing or for you to miss things. So be sure to always read all your directions. For example, you notice that you're supposed to save this document because you're going to add to it each week. First of all, for week 7, you only needed to complete Journal 7.4. So if you scroll down a little bit, you see it says next week you will receive your results or record your results on the next page, okay? So do not need to go to page 2 until week 8. And you're going to put the week 8 assignments in this column, the 8.4. And then later on, we've got future weeks, okay? But for week 7, which was last week, you only have to do this first page. The other thing that I noticed is that because you are good students and because you want to do well, you set very high goals for yourself for next week. But unfortunately, that is not a good thing to do with this particular assignment. If you notice down here at the bottom of the box, it explains a little bit more about setting goals. And it says, when setting the goals, review your current comprehension rate. If your comprehension rate is more than 80%, you can gradually increase your reading speed by 20 to 25 words per minute. Keep the comprehension rate high, over 80%. If your comprehension rate is less than 80%, keep your reading speed the same and increase your comprehension rate goal. So that means last week, if your comprehension rate was less than 80%, you need to keep the reading speed the same. Okay, don't change the speed because understanding is much more important than speed. Okay, now you may feel a little frustrated or discouraged by that, but I don't want you to be because I want you to realize that this is something that can take time and practice. And you will get faster and you will improve your comprehension rate with steady work and steady practice. Okay. So, again, if your comprehension rate last week was less than 80%, do not change the speed. Whatever the speed was, I don't care how slow it was or how fast it was. The comprehension rate is what is most important. So if it's less than 80%, then you're going to keep your reading goal is going to be this, your speed goal is going to be the same. Don't change that. And you can raise your comprehension rate. So let's say your speed last week was 120 words per minute, but your comprehension rate was only 40%. Well, you can leave your speed at 120 and you can raise your comprehension. Now, if you want to be really ambitious and raise it to 80%, go for it. If not, you could just say, I'm going to go for 60%. And then in the following week, go for 80%. And but the important thing is you don't change the speed until the comprehension is 80% or higher. Okay, so we're working on comprehension first and speed second. Also, I want you to think about this in another way. Imagine that you have to read something for work or for another course that you're taking. And your boss or your teacher says, you need to read this by next week. And you read it fast, you get it all done, but you only understand 40% of it. What's going to happen? What problems will you encounter at work or in that class because you only understood 40%? So I hope that helps you to see that the comprehension is much more important than the speed. Now, what I know from teaching this class several times is that students do improve. Each week they get a little better and they do get a little faster as the semester goes on. So it's important though that your goals are reasonable. Be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, keep that reading speed the same until the comprehension goes up. Okay? And that's all the advice I have for today. I hope this helps you, and I look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do in the next few weeks. Thank you so much.